Go back to where you came from. I was stunned when I heard those hurtful words said to my mom. It was a beautiful, sunny day in Orange County, and I had just gotten out of school. I was 9 years old, and my younger sister came out of kindergarten, upset because she said a girl took a trinket that she got in class. My mom had gotten out of the car to talk to the other parent. For the other parent to say something so hurtful over something so insignificant was shocking. Having someone I cared about being treated unkindly and judged because of their ethnicity made me want to stay in a protective shell. A fear of rejection was born. But something good came out of this. It made me hyper-aware of my own actions and to think of the person on the receiving end of a conversation. Showing someone compassion and respect doesn't cost a penny. I focused a lot on my own self-awareness. I paid attention to the impact of my own actions and words. I learned that you can learn from people you admire and from those you don't, and that we each have an opportunity to create our own style of leadership. Since I'm an introvert, one of the things that scared me most was speaking in public. There was a time when I was in 6th grade and it was announced that all of the students would have to give a speech in class using a microphone. I was dreading it. To ease us into it, they had each of us go up to the microphone to test it out. Most of the students said something like, "Testing, 1, 2, 3. I decided I would say something funny. When it was my turn, I walked up to that microphone and I said in a loud voice, "Where's the beef?" The whole class was so surprised and they roared with laughter. I felt my face get hot. I felt a little embarrassed, but I also felt proud. It felt good to step inside that fear and take action despite it. And it was fun to make people laugh. Over time, I've learned to get out of my own way and to say yes to things even when it scares me. I've learned that the magic often happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Several years ago, I was at lunch when a colleague called me. He asked if I would be interested in teaching a class at Cal State San Marcos. I remember standing outside the restaurant talking to him on my cell phone, and my knee-jerk reaction was to doubt myself. I thought, I've never taught before and there's so many other great facilitators. I'm so busy with work. But after some more thought, I realized that I've always had some wonderful mentors who have helped me in my career and how much that's meant to me. I knew there would never be a perfect time, so I said yes. This time I didn't let myself overthink it or find excuses to turn it down. I knew there would never be a perfect time, but I could embrace this growth opportunity. Walking into that classroom the first night, I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous. And then I put myself in the students' shoes and realized they might be nervous too. They may not know anyone either. So to make them feel welcomed, as they came into the classroom, I walked up to each student, shook their hand, and introduced myself. During the class, I taught my way by being genuine, by sharing my heart in my teaching, and by letting the students know that I was there not only to teach the class, but to help them professionally however I could. To create a feeling of support around me, I invited colleagues to add to the richness of the conversation. And it was a wonderful, enriching experience. I improved my facilitation skills, I strengthened relationships with my colleagues, and I made great connections with the student and faculty. Even after the courses were over, I would have some of the students reach out to me for career advice. Being eager to learn myself, I always took advantage of opportunities for leadership development. One of the most impactful exercises I ever did was when I was at a leadership retreat. We were asked to close our eyes and imagine we were at our own funeral. We were asked to imagine what people would say about us. I could feel the emotion around me. The tears were flowing from everyone. It made me think what my family, friends, and colleagues would say about me. The fear of regret is powerful, and I made the decision then and there to be the best wife, mother, daughter, sister, friend, and colleague that I could be. I wanted to live life more intentionally, to say yes more, and not worry about things being perfect or what others thought. I wanted to let people know how much they meant to me and what I appreciated about them. I want everyone to celebrate my life and know I lived a wonderful, fulfilling, rich life because of the amazing people that were in it. One of the reasons I got into HR was to help individuals with their careers and to create positive company cultures. When one of the locations I worked with was impacted by a hurricane that damaged the homes of over a dozen employees, we took immediate action to research and put in place our own nonprofit entity. I partnered with my team and we rallied our employees and vendors, and through their donations and company contributions, we raised over $100,000 to help those families. Our employees were in tears. They were so touched by the efforts to help them financially. It would have taken them years to afford to rebuild on their own. I am so happy that this legacy of giving continued on over the years. Until a couple of years ago, I never had the courage to imagine that I would leave the stability of a corporate job and go out on my own. But I had been feeling a strong pull to have more autonomy and independence, and to spend the last years my kids had in high school to be more present with them. A favorite quote of mine is, "Comparison is the thief of joy," by Theodore Roosevelt. Starting my own business was intimidating. There were so many things to figure out, and I felt like I was surrounded by high-caliber professionals who had everything together. One of the most important things that I could do was to create my own definition of success. It made me realize what was most important to me: my family, my colleagues, and doing meaningful work. My colleagues have been so supportive and encouraging with their time and advice. It's meant so much to me to know they were there for me. I think they were there for me because they knew I was a good person, and if they needed something, I would be there for them. And I do believe that being vulnerable and accepting someone's help provides them with the gift of giving. Honestly, without that supportive network, I don't know that I would have continued down the consulting path, because there were definitely moments when I doubted that I could do it. One of those moments happened right after I started my business. I found out about a request for proposal for a large HR consulting project with the San Diego Convention Center. Looking at that 5-page document of requirements, my first thought was, this is too big for me. I'm not going to throw my hat in the ring. That darn fear again. So I did something that would get rid of that fear. I brought in people I knew and trusted to be part of my team. We spent hours putting together a detailed project plan. We hired a graphic designer to put together a polished proposal, and we submitted it. We were thrilled when we found out we made it as a finalist. During that proposal meeting, we showed up dressed in our best. I wore my red power suit so I would feel strong and confident. We sat at that large conference table with their project team and highlighted all the things we heard from them, provided ideas and solutions, and we were happy with the dialogue because they were interested in our suggestions. And then they pulled out that detailed project plan and said, "This is amazing." We were so excited when we found out later that we were selected for the project. The biggest leadership lessons in my career have been to create my own leadership style and craft my own definition of success. When I think back to that situation that happened with my mom, it played such a role in shaping who I've become. I constantly strive to live my best life, to be my best version of myself, and the journey itself has been so amazing. When I was first promoted to Vice President of HR, the best praise came from my parents, who told me, "Tracy, we didn't know how to teach you to be successful, but you figured it out for yourself." The most rewarding experiences have happened when I stepped past my fear, outside my comfort zone to where the magic happens. I'm so glad to be part of the magic tonight.